If you wanted to add in the ability to bank the character's foot, again, it's just a simple concept of layering nulls, parenting nulls, or just parenting pivots. For this one here, again, I'm just going to grab maybe a polygon mesh sphere. I'm going to extract the edges from it. Again, just do the extract edges as curve. It's a good idea to just build yourself a little base of icons. You can export them as a model and then call them back in whenever you need a specific icon. So I'll extract those edges there, freeze and delete. So I've got something like that. And I'll scale it down, and I'm just going to put it at the edge of the character's foot where I want the foot to bank. So kind of like there, just on the edge of the foot. On the inner side of the foot, if I duplicate that object and go Control-Alt-D to duplicate in place, I want that foot to bank kind of in the same area. Just a little back. Just getting that inner pivot off of the heel. And then it's just a matter of choosing which one is going to control which, and making the end child the parent of your foot control here, because you can bank your foot like so, but you can also use these as extra pivots to do so. So I'll take the left foot, left bank control, make it the parent of the left foot inner bank control, and I'll actually just change this one's name here. Left foot outer control, and then finally take this item here, parent, and pick child there. So my hierarchy now, if I switch to objects mode, should look left foot outer, left foot inner, heel control followed by its hierarchy. So I can bank on one side or on the other. And I'll take that and parent it into my left foot control. I'm going to have to, of course, duplicate it over on the other side. So I'll just take the two items, mirror them over. Make sure I freeze the scaling on these. I can also freeze the rotation. This one's been scaled down quite small, and it already has some children, so I can actually use child compensate and freeze the scaling in place without affecting the children, and just turn child comp back off. I'll do a renamer on here. Left for right. And one for none. And I have the outer as the parent of the inner, so I'll do the same thing here. I'll take the inner and drag it onto the outer, and I'll drag the right heel control in like that. And then I'll definitely want to take my foot objects, my right foot control and left foot control, and make them children respectively of the outer circles. So if I have a look under here, my new hierarchy looks like that. So everything's nice and zeroed out. My outer control here isn't, so again, child compensate, I can freeze its rotation in place. And if it does throw off things down the chain, you can do the same thing to the children. I'll have a look under here. Again, I have a feeling one of them will be out. Again, the scaling's out on this one, so I'll child compensate, freeze its scaling. You can imagine what would happen if you didn't have child compensate on. All the children would also freeze their scaling, and you might end up affecting your hierarchy. You likely will affect positions or the relative scale of an object. So my right foot control now is working out right nicely, and my left, just do a quick test of my pivots. We're going to run into the last problem of the foot roll. It happens when you start to twist the character, or if you want to twist the foot. You'll notice in some of these outer and inner banks that the bones just don't want to turn. And it's solved by using up vectors. Again, if you remember the up vector when we dealt with the legs, we now have the up vector being controlled by the roll attribute down at our feet. But in our arms, we see that we have that same pole vector idea, that the y-axis can aim at something. And that's all we're going to do here. We're going to take the bones of our feet and we're going to chain up vector them to objects that are aiming down along their local y-axes. And those objects, of course, will be children of our controls, and they will be made unselectable, and that will solve the problem. So let's get to doing it.